Bear with me for a moment while I read you this quote from the Urantia book. The western advance of the continental drift was coming to a standstill, and the enormous energy of the sluggish momentum of the intercontinental mass upcrumpled the Pacific shoreline of both North and South America and initiated profound repercussional changes along the Pacific shores of Asia. What on earth is a paragraph like that doing in a book that is dedicated to the spiritual uplift of humankind? And those of you who are familiar with the Urantia book, you know that significant portions of the book are dedicated to describing the epic tale of how our planet evolved from the circulating dust of our solar system to the home of an intricate ecosystem that nurtured the development of our species. So my question is, why? How does the knowledge of things like ancient landmass migration move us forward as a civilization? How does telling this tale help us to live more fully in the family of God? People may answer that question in different ways, but for me, whose scientific background is limited, I get the most out of these sections when I read them as parables, in which the details are not so important. It is the overall lesson that I walk away with. In Jesus' parable about the talents, a father gives 5 talents to one servant and 2 talents to another servant and 1 talent to another, and then that first and the second servant both earn some number of talents, and the third earns no talents and goes on to be reprimanded by his master. Anyone who takes that parable forgets the lesson and instead places more emphasis on remembering exactly how many talents the first 2 brothers were able to make is missing the point of the story. So how do we read the sections on ancient Earth history as a parable? How do we understand the points of the story? One key lesson that I take from these sections is simply that we do not need to think dualistically. Meaning, we do not need to think that science inhabits one domain and religion inhabits another, and that they never even come close enough to touch. But rather, we can find ways that our material understanding and our religious understanding help to inform each other. When I learn about the incredibly slow tectonic development of our planet's physical features, I develop in my mind an understanding that development takes a long time. I can push for needed change within society, but when it takes a long time, that does not mean that God has turned the other way. Slow development has always been the way of our planet. When you try to make the world around you better, do not be disheartened by the magmatic rate at which change comes. It will come. It will come about as a result of dedicated people determined to serve, determined to develop a world in which all people, no matter their color, class, nationality, sexual preference, or gender, are recognized as being a part of the family of God, brothers and sisters inhabiting this planet together. Just think of the force, the incredible power behind those plates that press against each other. That is what visionaries must embody in order to bring about change, doing good for others. Learning to love others and acting on that love is what we are here for. This is what you practice in your Earth life. There. Who would have thought that I could start by talking about plate tectonics and find myself back at the point of the book?